What's up guys, it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have, you already know, it's another fragrance review, but this one I was super excited to do. So this week we are going to review Jo Malone English Pear and Freesia. English Pear and Freesia. Yeah, I was really excited about this. I've always been interested in Jo Malone fragrances. I just wasn't entirely sure like where to get them from, because even from where I worked at, we never had Jo Malone. So I just happened to be in Nordstrom, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's Jo Malone. This is like the perfect time to try it. And I tried it, and I thought that maybe I'd just do a review on it, and we would analyze this fragrance, go through all the notes, and see if this fragrance is really worth it or not. So, if you guys would like to know if Jo Malone English Pear and Freesia is worth your money, then keep on watching. I'm going to start by just spraying it on myself again, just so I know what it smells like. So, I've already sprayed it on myself. I've already experimented with it. And it's this, like, nice, spicy, it has like some type of spice in it, which I think is just the Freesia. So going over the notes, it has pear, I believe it has melon, it has Freesia, rose, it actually has amber in it, which was very interesting, and I can't remember the base notes, so we're going to look it up. See, this is easy for you guys because I just put the notes on the screen for you, but I actually have to go through and look for it. So it has musk, patchouli, rhubarb, and amber. Those are in the base notes. Maybe it's the rhubarb that I'm smelling that gives it kind of that spicy note. I can smell a little bit of the rose in it. The melon doesn't really show up for me. Patchouli, not really. Musk, kinda. Amber, not really. So, however, different notes show up on different skin, so just because that doesn't show up on me does not necessarily it's not going to show up on you. I'm not sure what a Freesia flower smells like, so I can't say if Freesia is in it or not. I'm not super educated in flowers. I do apologize. But anyways, just from like the smell alone, it's very like niche. It's not for everybody. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's not going to be something that I'm going to tell everyone, like, oh, this is what you want, this is what you need. I feel like Jo Malone is kind of not necessarily on the tier of Tom Ford, but kind of going that direction. It's not like Ajmal and Armaf and stuff like that, where they also do niche fragrances, but those kind of are like, I'm sorry, they're kind of like dupes of like other popular fragrances like Sauvage and Baccarat Rouge and stuff like that. This is not trying to be anything like that. This is not trying to be a dupe of any kind or any shape or any form. So, I believe that Jo Malone might be onto something, you know, originality, finally, because I'm tired of the dupes. Dupes are nice and all, but when there's like 10,000 dupes of one fragrance, it kind of gets a little old. You kind of want something new, right? But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now. In-depth analysis of this fragrance also on my Instagram, which is Shady Young. So if, you know, you want some in-depth like information about notes and stuff like that. This is kind of just going over longevity, when should you wear it, price, value, stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm going to shut the hell up now, and we're going to get down and we're just going to break it down tier by tier and see if the fragrance is just worth buying or not. Okay, we're going to start with fragrance strength and longevity. Longevity longevity is trash. Now, something that I did not know until upon like actually looking up Jo Malone, they don't do eau de toilette, eau de parfum, nothing like that. These are literally just colognes. So it's not oil based. So that was kind of a bummer for me. And then also when I was spraying it on myself, I would like smell myself after an hour and I couldn't smell it anymore. So I was like very disappointed. So longevity and stuff like that, this is not a fragrance that you want to wear and you think that you're going to be able to make it last all day. This is something that you're like, okay, I'm probably going out to the bar for maybe like an hour, or I'm going out with my girlfriend, so I'm just, girlfriend or boyfriend, I consider this unisex. I'm just going to put this on, because by the time I come home, you're not going to be able to smell it anymore. So I actually gave it the ranking of a 3, and to be honest, that was me being nice, because I have other fragrances that last so much longer than that, and smell really nice. So yeah, do not get this if you want something that lasts forever. Now let's talk about the scent complexity. It does have a nice combination of notes. I feel like it's a really good mix. Like, I never thought to put like even rose and pear together. Like, I've never thought of that combination at all. I don't think there's ever been a fragrance that I've tried that even has pear and rose in it. I have a few fragrances that have pear in it, and then I have a few fragrances that have rose in it. Never have I like seen the two put together. Even like the Freesia, I've never, didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know it was a flower. So I feel like they did a really good job. You know, I wish that that amber would have stayed. Like they would have put like a little bit more amber, like a little bit more musk into it. But it's not called musk in English pear. It's not called amber in English pear. So I understand why they did it. However, if that's in the base notes, I just want to smell like a little bit more of it. You know, like if you're going to push out that musk, then just push it out just a little more, so so we know that it's in there. So I actually gave it an 8. It's a really nice combination. It's a combination that I would have never thought of like mixing stuff with. So whoever the perfumer is for this, which I actually didn't look up, they did a really good job, because who would have thought of something like that besides them? And it was an incredible idea. It landed super well, because it smells really nice. It's not a smell for everybody, but if you're into like those unique type of fragrances, that one's definitely the one for you. All right, let's talk about the scent performance. I think it performed very well. I mean, it basically gave you what the title says. It gave you English pear and it gave you Freesia. So it gave you flowers and it gave you fruit. And I feel like that's exactly what it did. It didn't necessarily lie to you. But yeah, it worked really well. Even by itself, I remember like the first time I took it to work with me, every time I sprayed it, I would just go back and smell it. And I would just smell it. And I would just smell it. And I feel like that's a really good thing to do, because you're like, wow, that smells so nice. Like, you know, like it's a good fragrance if you just keep smelling yourself. Even though it doesn't last long, the more you smell it, I feel like the better it becomes, because it does evolve, even though it doesn't last long. It evolves over that time that it's sitting on your skin. When I first initially sprayed it, I smelled the pear. But now I feel like that pear has kind of like left, and I have more of the rose and the Freesia in it, which still smells really good. It's floral. I'm not a huge fan of white floral as usual. So it's kind of giving me a little bit of that white floralness. It's kind of giving me a little bit of wedding bouquet, but it's okay, because that rose is kind of like canceling it out a little. So it's not super overpowering that it's like making my head hurt. All right, versatility. Unless you're into like super niche fragrances, this isn't a super versatile fragrance. Like, personally, I wouldn't wear this every day, because I just feel like it doesn't go with everything. I mean, I have so many fragrances that I wouldn't wear it every day anyways. So I feel like there's more like different like everyday. Like, some people's everyday is like they want something citrusy, or they want something fresh, or they want something light, or they want something floral, or they want something not overly sweet. This to me doesn't scream everyday. This to me screams, I want to make an impression, so I'm going to spray it and hope for the best. Because some people might think that it doesn't smell good. My boyfriend hasn't smelled it yet, but I can kind of tell from this fragrance he probably would hate it. That's just because I know the things that my boyfriend likes. And he probably would not like this at all. If I wore this on a date, he'd probably tell me that I freaking stink. So, yeah, if you want to try and make an impression, you'll make either a good impression or a bad impression, depending on who likes the smell and who doesn't like the smell. But even then, it's not a super overpowering smell. So you would kind of have to be a little close to them to even smell it. Like, I can't be on the other side of the hallway and someone smells me and they're like, oh my God, what's that smell? They would basically have to be standing right next to me for them to even know that I even have perfume on. Let's talk about this packaging and this design. I gave it a 6 because it's not like flooring me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice little bottle. It's literally a bottle. It's literally a rectangular bottle. With a label on the front of it. And also the kicker, I bought this from Nordstrom. No box. Doesn't come with a box. Only the 3.4 comes with a box. Am I not special even though I bought the 1.7? What is this? The 1.7? No, it's not even a 1.7. It's the 1 ounce. I feel like they didn't, like, it's not special because I didn't buy the 3.4 ounce. Now, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of being a jerk. I'm not sure if it was supposed to come from a box and they just forgot to give it to me. Because this wasn't a tester. I literally saw her pull it from behind the tester. Just no box. So I should score it lower, but I'm not going to because I don't know if that's a Nordstrom thing or if that's a Joe Malone thing. So I'm not going to blame Joe Malone for something that Nordstrom might be doing. I just know that it didn't come in a box. And I was actually kind of upset because I like my perfumes. I put my perfumes back in their boxes and then I arranged them that way. So since this one doesn't have a box, it kind of just floats in the nether regions of my room. Or of my, like, what do you call it? Of my shelf. Because it'll probably get lost. You know, I'll pick up a perfume and I'll put it right in front of this and then I'll never see this again. So, a lot of my perfumes, I don't know what I'm wearing until I'm like, ooh, I want to wear this. So the fact that this doesn't have a box and all of these boxes are like yay tall, this is going to get lost in translation. So that's kind of upsetting, but it's an okay bottle though. It's a very nice glass. Nice glass. But the bottle doesn't wow me. You know, there's like, you know, Good Girl and Chloe and Coach who have like very attractive bottles. And sometimes I feel like the bottle is what attracts people to it. So when you put a tester out, you know, let's take Carolina Herrera for a second. For example, sorry, can't talk. When you put Carolina Herrera like on a shelf, people are like, oh, what's that? Like, and they'll walk up and they'll pick up the heel, or they'll go like, oh my God, that's so cute. They'll pick it up and they'll spray it. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God, look at the heel. With Joe Malone, they'll probably just walk right past it because they're like, oh, okay, it's in a bottle. That's just like a me thing. And that's just what I think. Once again, this is just personal opinion. I'm not speaking for everybody as a whole. So, yeah, but personally, I'm always attracted to the bottle. Like, a bottle is what takes me to the fragrance most of the time. Because I see fragrances all the time. So, if there's, like, I would probably walk past this if I wasn't actively looking for it. Price and value. Okay, so I looked up the prices and stuff. So I went to joemalone.com, I went to Nordstrom, I went to Macy's, I think, I went to Sephora, I think, and then I went to Amazon. The prices range for Joe Malone from $50 to $120, I think. Yeah, from $50 to $120. Personally, I hate that. I do. I hate that because it's not oil-based. Why am I paying $100 for a fragrance that's not oil-based? I mean, I guess I'm paying for the name. I'm not entirely sure. If someone really knows, please let me know. why am I paying more than $100 for something that's not oil-based? Am I just paying for the name? Is it from Paris? I know it's from London. Okay, I just made myself sound stupid. It's from London, and I get that. But who's Joe Malone? Like, it would be different if, like, Louis Vuitton did something like that. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just paying for Louis. I've never heard of Joe Malone until, like, maybe 2 years ago. Maybe even a year ago. So I just don't really understand why it's that much for cologne. Especially, like, even a tiny bottle like this was $80 from Nordstrom. You are not oil-based, babe. Like, why are you so expensive? I just don't understand. I mean, maybe it's not for me to understand, but maybe I'll do a little bit more research after this video, because I still, like, it just boggles my brain that, like, this is as expensive as it is for it to not stay and for it to have to be layered over other things. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. However, personal enjoyment, I do enjoy this fragrance a lot. There's some cons to it, like the price and the fact that it has to be layered because it doesn't last long. So those are like the biggest cons of like Joe Malone right now that I can think of. But other than that, if you're into niche fragrances, these are really nice. I really do enjoy these fragrances. I tried the Wild Bluebell as well. So I'm trying to think of fragrances that I can layer that over, because I know since it's not oil based, it's not going to stick. It's probably going to evaporate off of you in about an hour. So I do want Wild Bluebell, but I'm just trying to find something that Wild Bluebell would mesh well with. But hopefully that will be another video that I can talk about. But I feel like if you're ever in Nordstrom, or even if you're in Sephora, because I think they do sell these at Sephora now. They used to not, but I think they do now. Give it a try. If you like Tom Ford, I think you might like Joe Malone. Tom Ford will probably be like a better fit, just because like their stuff is like extremely oil based. However, their stuff is also very expensive. Like Tom Ford starts at least $200 at least, if you want like the good stuff. Like even I think like what is that fragrance called? Oh my god. The cherry one. What is it called? Wow, I can't believe it literally slipped my mind. All in all, on the fragrance scale, this fragrance gets about a 6.2. Hopefully I did that math right. So it's kind of like smack dab in the middle. It's not super good, it's not tremendous, but it's also not horrible either. This is kind of like the fragrance where you decide for yourself. I can't highly recommend this fragrance to you, just because I also had problems with the fragrance. Not necessarily for the smell, but necessarily for other like logistical things. I just feel like I do layer fragrances already, but the fact that this is something that has to be layered is kind of a bummer, because what if I just wanted the smell to speak for itself? So if you're ever in Nordstrom, I don't think they sell it at Saks, but if you're ever in Nordstrom or if you're ever in Sephora, because those are the two stores that I know sell it, just try it. Just try English Pear. This is probably the most popular one out of all of them. So try this one out of everything. I think the rest of them are like super unique. But I feel like everyone needs to start getting into like those unique fragrances. The reason why is because I'm tired of everyone smelling like Savage. I'm tired of everyone smelling like Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. I'm tired of everyone smelling like, you know, like even Good Girl Blush. I don't know anyone else that has it besides like fragrance influencers. Go out and get Good Girl Blush or something. You know, be original. Find something else. Find something that you like, not that everyone else likes. I can't literally rant about that all day, but I'm not going to. Anyways, this little guy is kind of right there in the middle. I won't be wearing it every day, but I also won't be giving it away. I feel like it's kind of worth having in your collection if you are a collector of fragrances. So that's my little tidbit. Hopefully it helps somebody. If it does, makes the review all worth it. So I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry about my rambling. I'm still trying to get used to this fragrance review stuff. So let me know if there's any tips that you guys want to give me. Once again, I do go more in depth on my Instagram, so go ahead and give me a look over there. You don't really have to follow me and stuff like that. I just kind of want to see if you guys like the review stuff on Instagram. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything else that you guys want to see from me, and I will catch you guys on the flip. Bye.